philosophizing black sheep, unwelcome, pushed to the side motherfuckers like me.
Fuck what they say. TANG gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. TANG gang, Atheist Your Way. Let's get down to business. These bitches got glitches. And you thought you'd dismiss us? Nah. Now I'm laughing in stitches. See, the problem be, it'll be a tragic travesty to come after me. So just know this is how we get down. Respect that shit like a pronoun, bitch. Yeah, fuck what they say. TANG gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah, and fuck what they say. TANG gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah, fuck what they say. TANG gang, Atheist Your Way. Yeah, fuck what they say. TANG gang, Atheist Your Way.
What up? What up, though? What it do? What it do? Sorry, I just got home from work and getting all my shit in fucking order. God damn it. My bad. But good evening, TANG gang. Or no, fuck, good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Good that thing. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'll stop. No, what's up? And I saw Shane Bilowitz starting off the chat. I gotta get my normal start out tag there. There we go. Now everything, the world feels centered again. What's up, Doorknob Head? I won't talk about better right now. 4:30 in the morning. I let the homie StreamYard, Jesus Christ, Nightbot do that for me. But yeah, I got this little video. It's on what may be, arguably, I'll leave it up to you, one of the more toxic characters on YouTube and Twitter, S.J. Thomason, and this other guy, it's Ray. Daniel Ray, I think it is. And they're going to learn us about that there street epistemology. They're going to learn us. Because that's what the Christians do. They learn us about all the shit they don't know about. Let's do it.
Hi, everybody. I'm here with the author, Story of the Cosmos, Daniel Ray, and I'm really excited today because we're going to talk about street epistemology, and Dan has been investigating that for a while, and we're probably going to get into some approaches that we've seen people use. We'll define what street epistemology is and at least how Dan's definition of it, that sort of thing. So we'll take a look at that, and it's going to be pretty exciting. So at the very end of the show, Dan is going to offer, or Daniel, I should say, is going to offer a couple of free.
So isn't that SJ? Isn't that so? Christian apologist of you. We're gonna have Daniel Ray come on and talk about his definition of street epistemology. We're gonna talk about this topic, and by God, we are not going to invite someone on that actually uses street epistemology and practices street epistemology. Nope, we're not going to do that. No, because we're scared of street epistemology. They're scared of street epistemology.
Free books to a couple of lucky people. And so that's something that he's going to do. So here's the book. I've got it too. It's really neat when you have a signed book. And so this is it's called Story of the Cosmos. You guys are going to want to pick it up. How the Heavens Declare the Glory of God. It's the general editors are Paul Gould and Daniel Ray. And it includes articles from people like William Lane Craig and Sarah Salviander.
William Lane Craig is involved. I already know it's a fucking home run. Big Willie's involved.
And so it's pretty exciting. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce Daniel to you. Or let Daniel introduce himself, I should say.
How are y'all?
Hi. Yeah.
Well,
so
thanks for having me on, Stephanie. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. So I found you on Twitter initially.
Words, and you'll try to use words carefully. I mean, the Bible is filled with exhortations, wisdom in choosing our words. And so, so the cosmos has within it, the created fabric of the cosmos has within it the grain of divine language, or counter to what God has established. And so it began, street epistemology began with philosopher and atheist Peter Boghossian. In 2013, he wrote a book called A Manual for Creating Atheists.
Yes, we do. We make our own. We do the bottom, the three the bottom end. That's what we do. I looked very briefly on my way home and couldn't find anything, but that does not mean anything because it was very brief. If anybody has a minute, pull up a separate tab and see if Daniel Ray has any credentials to be talking about the cosmos. Any background, any education, and then does he or has he had any background, any education within philosophy and Socrates and all that before we even get to Peter or Anthony or anyone else that as they call them would be street epistemologists. Somebody wants to do that, that'd be awesome, because I want to see if this guy even has any background in this shit. That's what do down there about this great apology. We didn't make that up. We don't like street epistemology. We don't like street epistemology. Makes you think. Because street epistemology basically says fuck faith. Thanks, Shin. Daniel was the second graduate right behind Zach from the online. That's all I need to know.
And it was on the tail end of the whole new atheist movement. He wasn't one of the four horsemen, maybe a troop on a horse, but he was certainly advocating that same kind of aggressive theism in that. And his whole take was, instead of arguing with Christians about the particulars of the faith, apologetics and script reliability of the Gospels, cosmological, philosophical arguments for God's existence, instead of doing all that, forget all that. Let's not argue facts. And that's in the book. That's in both books he's written. We'll get to the other one in a minute. But instead of doing apologetics, trying to do counter apologetics, trying to answer a Christian on certain defenses of faith, he said, forget all that, set all that aside, and ask the Christian how they know what they know.
Did I hear the word fact? Danny boy, did I hear the word fact come out of your mouth when referring to the Bible? Oh, what's up, Godless Scummer? See, Danny boy, here's the thing. And this is where, yes, we could still use, whether you want to call it the Socratic method or street epistemology. You just made an assertion that the Bible is factual. We could turn around and use street epistemology for that claim, dumbass. So we would need evidence to support that assertion that you just quickly tried to smuggle in there. Very borderline honestly, I may add. Because here's the thing, for the fucking pillars, or the pillar of your faith being the death and, more importantly, the resurrection of Jesus Christ, you have no evidence. You have no evidence. That sucks for you. Yeah, I mean, it sucks for you. But we shall proceed. Also a wedding DJ. Oh, we have something kind of in common. Chainsaw tree trimmer, construction worker, UPS. Yes. UPS. Lyft driver. He looks like a Lyft or a, driver? Uber. The creepy guy when you get in, he's got weird music going, and when you try to talk, he doesn't do anything but turn the music up. But now all of a sudden the motherfucker's an author about the cosmos. Who would have thunk it? Jesus over everything.
And go down what he's termed the epistemological route. So it's kind of a combination of a Socratic method, philosophy, the theory of knowledge, how we know what we know, used for the purpose, Stephanie, of trying to get Christians to doubt. That's how it began. And that was going on 8 years ago. And it has, Peter is no longer intently involved with street epistemology. He's written another book in 2019 with James Lindsay called How to Have Impossible Conversations, where it doesn't really talk about street epistemology, but that whole thing is still there under the term of interventionist. Whether you're an epistemologist or an interventionist, your idea is cognitive intervention. You have the tools to go help people discover how bad their thinking is. And so now, 8 years later, there's a host of people on YouTube and on social media. Because of COVID this has become more of a popular thing on social media. There's a website, but there's all kinds of content creators on YouTube and other places doing street epistemology, using these basic question and answer techniques to try to cause doubt in people's beliefs. And this is expanded beyond religion now. People use it for politics and
Danny boy. What's up, Maynard Saves? Danny boy, listen. Again, you make an assertion that they're doing this just to cause doubt. Cool. If that's the case, I need evidence. Do you have anything recorded, like video, audio, anything of anyone that really understands street epistemology and the way it should be used, and even trying to not even trying, but being as integral, and intellectually honest in it? Do you have any of them using that verbiage? We do this to bring about doubt. I would highly doubt it. But if you do, I'd love to hear it, see it, read it, whatever. And I'll just speak for myself and, allow other people that like to deploy that, that tool or that line of questioning, whatever you want to call it. I use it as trying to validate or determine whether the methodology, whether they're using good or dependable methodology to reach their belief. I'm just focused on the methodology. Because at the end of the day, if the methodology is solid and we've used the right methods, dependable methods to get there, then does it really matter at the end? I'm not even really focused on the end result. It's how did we get there? Just like Danny boy, if you take a vacation, it doesn't matter which highway you took. Whichever route is the safest route. It's it's the most dependable. It's the safe. And when I say safe, I mean like nobody's gonna die. It's the most reliable to get to your destination. Does it really? As long as you get to the correct destination, you get to where you need to be. And that's the place the entire time that you should have ended up. Does it really matter what highway you used? That's how I look at it. Like let's go through the methodology. If we can find correct methodology to get you to Yahweh, then I'll listen. But so far, there's no good methodology to get us. There is no good highway. There's no good road. There's no good path. It's all off-road, fucking out in the boonies somewhere where you don't even know where the fuck you're at.
And cults and alternative medicines and anything else you can imagine. There's a wide variety of topics, but really I think the money videos for the street epistemologist and underlying street epistemologist is the same goal that it was 8 years ago, causing doubt in faith of believers, specifically Christian.
Yeah, and I like how you pointed out.
And I will on the flip side of that say, no, it's not on the flip. It's in the same lane, since we're talking about roads and highways and shit. Faith, Danny boy, is not a reliable pathway. It is not a reliable highway. It is not a reliable road to bring you to true things. So if you want to say that I want to attack the word faith, and faith is a vehicle or a pathway to bring anyone to a quote unquote true thing, well then hell yeah. I'm doing that. And I'm not trying to bring doubt. I'm trying to get them to realize what is good reason, what is bad reason, and should you trust it? Should you depend on it? That's it.
A lot of really good points. And one of the things that you said that I want to kind of build on a little bit is this idea of, and I want to go talk about Peter Boghossian's book too, because I haven't read that book. And so we can get into that a little bit more as well. But I wanted to talk about when you said people going against the current, and it's this idea of trying to swim against the current. I want to point two things out. One is when my sister was pretty young, she got caught up in a rip current. We live in Florida, as you know, and so she got caught up in a rip current, and a miracle occurred. She heard a voice of a woman telling her not to swim against the current. And so she didn't, and she ended up doing fine. She was able to escape that rip current that was pulling her down.
Wow.
And there was no woman around. There was nobody around. So this is the kind of crazy thing. So that's an interesting thing, but it's kind of a life thing too, because I was just listening to Jordan Peterson on his in one of his maps of meaning sort of thing, and he was talking about Cain and Abel and about how Cain kind of went against God.
So, first of all, and I haven't watched a ton, but I've watched enough to understand that SJ loves to make it about SJ. And for some goddamn fucking random ass fucking reason, she brings in, oh, one time my sister was swimming on the ocean and hey, lady screaming, not drowning. I don't know how that's supposed to logically follow back into straight epistemology. But I would use street epistemology again to examine why you believe that was a supernatural event. Why are you convinced that was supernatural? Why are you convinced that a God showed up and intervened in the ocean for your sister? Meanwhile, in local hospitals, just wherever you were at, probably on vacation or whatever, there's, hundreds, if not maybe, depending on where you're at, the city you're in, whatever, hundreds, maybe thousands of people dying. I don't know. And God didn't give a fuck about them, but man, he gave a fuck about your sister getting caught in that riptide. Enough that he spoke in a female's voice. Hey, SJ's sister, don't swim that way. Get the fuck out of here.
And as you go against God, you develop this anger and this sense of vengeance. And so he started looking at Abel, thinking to himself, Abel is just so perfect and everything that Cain wasn't, and he had God's favor. And so he decided he was going to go after Abel and eventually killed Abel. And it's kind of an interesting thing when you see that online, when you're trying to go out there and share the good news in a positive way, and these people are looking at you like, wait a second, this may be a God's favored. I'm going to therefore go after that person and try to make them look really bad or do something like that. And so I kind of relate that.
Yeah.
But so I'm just wondering, and so I think that
SJ, you just showed your hand. You just showed your hand. You just played your cards. You don't have a motherfucking clue about street epistemology at all. At all. At all. None. You fail. You've already failed. Holy shit. Hopefully Danny Boy can redeem you.
You define street epistemology very well as far as how people come to the idea. And I've run into some other ones, like I'll just name Anthony Magnabosco and Pine Creek Doug. I don't know if you've had interaction.
Attention all atheists. We're paging Anthony Magnabosco. Magnabosco, he does the street epistemology. I need Anthony Magnabosco. I'm going back in the ocean.
With either of those two, but or even Peter Boghossian. Have you actually interacted with any of them?
I have interacted with Anthony Magnabosco. I've interacted with Pine Creek Doug. I've interacted with Reed Nicewonder, who is Cordial Curiosity, a couple of others. I've made 3 videos on street epistemology. I've been doing research on this topic indirectly for years, but more formally in the last couple of months for my job at Watchman Fellowship. We've done a 4-page profile on Peter Boghossian. And I say profile, we write these 4-page essays that come out on these topics of ideas and other world religions. So we did one on Peter, and we did one on the combined Peter and street epistemology. So I really heavily engaged. I made some videos. I reviewed the books. I reviewed the tactics, and 2 of the videos got picked up by the street epistemology website, YouTube channel. 4 or 5 of them, including Anthony and Reed and Doug, reviewed the videos. And they were pretty favorable about it. I tried to give it a fair treatment. Obviously, I'm a Christian apologist professionally. Obviously, there are disagreements on the worldview level of the intent of street epistemology. But in the videos, I applauded what I thought was good about what they're trying to do. But I also said, you know, you need to be aware of people who use street epistemology for the specific intention of trying to get you to doubt your faith. And so they...
SJ, that's because Anthony Magnabosco and Neil are two stand-up individuals that do their best. They're human, do their best to operate with integrity and honesty and even intellectual honesty and try to be as transparent in all of their interactions as possible. Give me 1 second. All right, SJ, I just muted the chat. You're the only one that will be able to hear this. You should try that. You should try that. You would get more positive reviews like Daniel is giving Anthony Magnabosco and Neil right now if you tried that. So, all right, 1 second. All right, everybody. Sorry for the pause there. Yeah, I think it's all. I think it's awesome that Daniel Ray, Danny Boy, comes back with, you know, that type of a review on the reviews of his videos, and good on Anthony and Neil for, you know, for doing that. Not that I expect anything different. And I will say, Danny Boy, thank you for being honest. Thank you for being transparent. I think that's badass.
They were pretty civil and pretty cordial. And as I've clarified many times, most of my engagements with street epistemologists begin very civilly. I mean, you extend that civility, it's going to get you a longer way. Now, some of them have...
Now, this part, this is where, you know, you go from being honest about the reviews, and I think this is where you get a little shady. What criteria are you using to identify or label someone as a street epistemologist? Because unless I missed it in the conversations I've had with Anthony and even you know, just a few, but with Neil, and they're the ones that, you know, really spearhead the street epistemology. What do I want to say? Community, you know, on Discord and YouTube and things like that. I'm not aware of any classes that you take to receive a degree in street epistemology. So why you want to go now and start slapping labels as someone being a street epistemologist like it's an official title? I need to know the criteria, Danny Boy, because this is where you're going to start to try to get shady and slippery. But I got you, boo. I got you.
Deteriorated into downright nastiness, and especially that's more prone to happen on Twitter and Facebook because you're not face to face. Less likely to happen in a video when you're live, even less likely to happen. I will say this in defense of street epistemologists. The kinds of nasty exchanges that I've had with some of them that practice this have all been Twitter. And likely, and I think Anthony even said this himself in one of the videos that he reviewed of mine, likely that would never have happened if we were in person. And I agree.
I'm trying to not start being a complete asshole yet. Danny Boy, SJ, and SJ already knows this because she's part of the poison. She's part of the toxic on Twitter. If you need Anthony Magnabosco or Neil or fuck me or any fucking body to tell you that you're going to get really, really shitty fucking exchanges on Twitter or in Facebook groups, you're stupid. You're stupid. Even made me sneeze. I'm allergic to that level of stupidity. Oh, Danny Boy, there's a reason it's titled Street Epistemology. It's not titled Twitter or Facebook epistemology. Who dunk it? Who dunked that little street, all that street epistemology? All that street epistemology. Get the fuck out of here.
I agree. So I will say that there's genuine, even with Anthony, I would say there's genuine delight in sincerity in wanting to keep difficult conversations civil. I think that's great. Where we obviously differ, and this is where, it's individual to individual. Why are you asking me about my confidence level and my belief in God? What is the...
Oh, Danny Boy, I'm glad you asked. We need to know. You need to know if your methodology is reliable, if it is dependable. And we need to examine that. Why? Because the book and the fucking God and the dogmatic bullshit that's attached to your bad idea and your bad belief, yes, you, SJ and Danny Boy, you then use those bad ideas and that bad belief to fucking vote and make decisions on anything and everything in this fucking country. So, Daniel, I do not hesitate. I do not fear at all asking you that question. Because guess what? You're not going to hesitate. You are not going to hesitate one goddamn fucking second to tell me about your fucking God if given the opportunity. So stop acting like all of a sudden you're offended that somebody wants to ask you a question about what you believe in, but then turn around and want to fucking witness to me and tell me that if I do this, I'm going to hell, but if I do this, I'm going to heaven. Fuck you. And I will ask you all those questions. And what Aunt Jer said, why you skirt? And it's even on the fucking thumbnail. Truth does not fear investigation. Why are you so worried? Why are you so worried? Why are you so intimidated by myself or anyone asking you these questions? Why are you so scared? If faith is reliable, Danny Boy, SJ, if faith is a reliable pathway, it's a reliable highway to get us to true things, You do not spend an entire stream trying to attack the Socratic method or street epistemology. The reason you do this is you're terrified of it. Because it does bypass the ancient text that is, that's a whole nother, that's the number one reason to know that this Yahweh motherfucker is not any fucking thing. So yes, we'll bypass that. Let's get to why you believe that this magical thing somewhere supposedly in the sky fucking exists. Let's talk about that, because that is determining your behaviors. That's determining how you vote. That's determining how you impact our culture and our society and the other people that live with and around you that you could be a danger to. So there's that, Danny boy.
The point of that, why are you doing that? Do you want to help me be more confident, or are you trying to lower my confidence? There's a
yes, and I'll ask you again. So then, why do you feel that you have to witness to me? Oh, that's right, because the magical nowhere daddy that never shows up. Like you have other than faith, you have no fucking good reason to believe that this thing exists. But you feel that you're compelled. You're compelled and driven and motivated to tell me about this fucker. Come on, man. If you can do that, then I get to ask you all the questions, bruh. All them questions. Who want to smoke?
There's an old Saturday Night Live skit way back in Desert Storm days, where there was a reporter. It was a cold opening, as they do. Chris Farley's era, and they were having a press conference on the war in the assault in Iran and that whole thing. And Chris Farley was a mock reporter, and in Chris Farley fashion, he goes, "What would lower the morale of our fighting soldiers?" And that's kind of like what street epistemology is for a lot of people. What would lower your confidence in the one most important thing in your life? And they go after that. Now, some of them, I think, really think they're helping you. Some of them really think, hey, I want you to examine your cognitive structures, and I want you to have good tools. And I think I have some good tools.
I think this part of the conversation really shines a light, and I won't say exposes, because I think that's already there, but it shines a light or a spotlight on one particular thing. When someone is truly skeptical of things, and they want to understand what is true, they do want to approach it with the most reliable and effective methodology as possible. They will do that, and they're not afraid to either examine it themselves or be examined, and have those things examined. And as we're going through this, all I'm hearing in this is, I want to believe this. How dare you? How dare you? Because I know it's not dependable. But I want this, or I need to cling to this. It's my identity. If I don't have this, what do I have? This is how everybody knows me. I'm the YouTube creator. I'm the pastor. I'm the minister. I'm this, and I'm this, and I'm this, and I'm this. Man, that fucking sucks, man. So I encourage everybody to, whether you believe or don't believe, always be challenging. Examine your methodology. How do you come to know something? How do you come to believe something? For fuck's sake, it makes all of us better.
Let me share them with you. I think some of them do that. Now, one of the videos I made, I picked out a street epistemologist guy. That was not his intent. His intent was to destroy, I think dismantle was his actual word, to destroy the Christian, invite him into a friendly conversation on a video he agreed to, and then turn around and use that video to embarrass him.
Evidence. You don't get away with that shit. You can get away with it, SJ, because she ain't gonna. Fuck that. Fuck that, bro. We need that evidence. Where's the video? Pull it up. Pull the clip. You said it was a video. Pull that shit up. Send me a link. I want to see where a street epistemologist invited somebody in, being completely dishonest, to then just try to wreck their world or do whatever it is that you said. I want it, because if that did actually happen, yeah, the rest of us that try to do it with integrity and honesty and try to be cool with it, yeah, we need to call out motherfuckers like that. That's bullshit. But don't do this and then not give the evidence, man. Oh, wait, you're an apologist. God damn it. Fuck me.
That's dishonest. I don't particularly like that. And I think there's even some skeptics and atheists who are kind of asking the questions of whether or not that's even ethical, to lure somebody into a conversation under the pretense of a friendly chat, just want to chat. And then actually it's really going to be turned around and, utilized to make them look bad or to try to reduce their confidence in their belief in God. So like with anything, Stephanie, there are so many people practicing this. It's really hard to put a finger on how, everybody does it, but primarily it remains a skeptical phenomena. It is within the skeptic community. It is every street epistemologist I've ever engaged is an atheist, but not every atheist practices street epistemology.
For short, thus far, what we're really hearing, mainly Daniel, but SJ sitting there and doing what sheep do, bah, bah, because she's not read a Peter book, she's not talked to Anthony Magnabosco, she probably hasn't even studied the Socratic method, any of fucking that. So she's doing what good Christians do. Bah, bah. You guys don't like being asked tough questions. Not about the Bible, where you can do all your apologetics and history and ancient history and fucking there's just been too much time and how do we know? But like you can do all that and fucking circle jerk yourselves off all day long around that. But then when we get to you, and how credible, how reliable, and how dependable is your methodology, oh man, jump ship. Get the fuck out of here, because now we're going to get to the brass tacks. Things that make you go,
But it remains a skeptical endeavor. And I know Anthony Magnabosco wants to sort of shed he said he's wanted to shed the atheist mantra, and he hopes everybody uses street epistemology. And, to some degree, it's the Socratic method of questioning. How do you know that? Stuff we all say. But what makes it street epistemology versus just having a conversation? That's the question that you need to ask when you're engaged with these things. What's the point of this?
Yeah. And I think that, it's funny because I went on Pine Creek Doug's channel and he did that on me. And so he was saying, how confident are you in your belief in God? How confident are you that Jesus resurrected and all that kind of stuff? And and then I went on another channel, Nathan Orman's channel, and Pine Creek was there again. And he asked me again. And both, I don't remember what I said the first time. I should have said 100%. I said it the second time though. Just recently I said 100%. And he did not like that. He's like, you can't say 100%. Like,
I think SJ, and based on some of the stuff I've watched of yours, I honestly wouldn't be shocked at this. I don't think you're the best at reading the room And I think I won't go as far to say narcissism, because I've not watched enough of your material, nor have I ever engaged with you one-on-one. So I won't go that far. I will try to be as honest and fair as I can be. But there's a lot of pride and ego there. I think you think that Doug didn't like that answer, but those of us that do actually like study and like to deploy, the Socratic method or street epistemology, when a motherfucker says 100, when they say 100 and they mean it, that's like roll your sleeves up. Roll your sleeves up and get ready. We about to dig in. It's dinner time. We all about to eat. I guarantee you Doug was not upset. We love hearing 100. Because that's some shit that we want to investigate. Because there's nothing on this fucking planet that anybody can be 100 about anything about. So I think you misread the room, per the usual.
Actually, no, I actually am 100% sure. I'm not going to go back on that. Jesus has made himself very obvious to me in a number of different ways. And because of that, I would be completely dishonest to deny it. And he did not like that. It's like, because this isn't a math game. This isn't statistics. I'm looking at probabilities, and you say it's 100% probable. You can't say that. This isn't statistics. This is my confidence level in God, and I'm there. And so that bugs the street epistemologist. So,
well, and two, as
it doesn't though. It doesn't. If anything, it just motivates us to try to formulate the best questions within context of your belief and why you believe it. The methodology and arriving to your belief. But again, as you let's see, we're only 15. I need to turn up the speed on this. God damn it. We're 15 minutes into your video. And guess what? You have several times played your cards, and you have demonstrated and proven you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And it's Danny boy carrying this conversation. So, which is probably for the best.
Jay, the thing I say that first of all, if you've just met somebody, you're on an airplane or you're in a park and you're like, hey, you want to have a conversation? Anthony has his clipboard. He's very personal. I mean, they're good at what they do in talking to people. Christians could learn some personal skills from watching how they interact with strangers. And I've actually learned some things watching them engage total strangers. That's been very helpful. And they're pretty good at it. I will concede when I see something done well, I'll concede that. But what we're really addressing here is that Boghossian's 2013 intentions are right there underneath the surface for a majority of people that are practicing street epistemology. And their number one target generally still seems to be, 8 years later, after all the street epistemology stuff has grown and grown and grown, their target still seems to be this idea of faith. They just want to continue to blast that. And there's two things. There's a problem here, SJ, because in one sense, Boghossian defines faith as belief without evidence. Now, he was on Unbelievable with Justin Brierley back in 2013 with professional Christian philosopher Tim McGrew, who held Peter's feet to the fire and said, Peter, no Orthodox theologian within the Christian tradition who thinks seriously about philosophy of religion ever uses that as a definition of faith. Yeah. That's true. I mean, it's not a definition. I mean, Peter must have come up with that autodidactically. Well, he sort of did, because here's the rub. Christians do use that definition like that. They say, when questioned, if they don't have the repertoire of what counts as, or what gives them a solid foundation for why they believe what they believe, they just kind of throw up their hands and go, it's faith. To mean, they might not define it exactly as Peter does, but basically what that is, it's a bailout. I don't have anything else. It's just faith. And so that's how people they talk to use the word. And so it really is street epistemology for a lot of people. It's like, okay, I used to teach middle school. I'm not going to go into my middle school class and exploit 12-year-olds, because that would be illegal, but exploit their ignorance. I'm there to fix that and to help them to think critically. I'm not going to go down on them. Now, if they think they own the world, they know everything, then I might have to exploit their ignorance a little bit. But it seems to me that
Well, if you walk into if you walk into a middle school, I hope you're not doing what you said. I'm not even going to repeat it. I hope you're not doing that. Yeah, that. I hope you're not doing that. I hope that was just a really, really bad choice of words.
a lot of people practice street epistemology to exploit the weakness, the intellectual weaknesses, the philosophical weaknesses that each of us have. And I'm not saying that.
Oh, but wait. Let Oz put his Christian hat back on. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. You dirty pervert.
I'm a smart Christian and I have all the answers. You ask me, talk to me long enough, you're going to find some weaknesses in my knowledge about what I know. I mean, we just talked to Craig Keener on our book club last night. My gosh, I don't feel like I've done anything after listening to Keener's resume. He's the one that did the Miracles book. And
Keener? Motherfucker said Keener. As if you had any credibility to begin with. It all just went. Oh, I didn't even take a fucking drink. No, I know. Yeah, Brett Keen's a whole nother. I would have just shut down the stream at that point. But they probably like that motherfucker too. Let's not lie. Let's not tell little white lies, little fibs. Let's not tell little fibs. Let's not stretch the truth, like these dudes about, like they do with the street epistemology.
A giant book on Acts. Well, yeah, we've had so Dr. Keener is a walking encyclopedia, a truly humble man. But when you listen to all of his publications, you're like, man, I don't know anything. He's just quoting scripture like a machine. Anyway, all of us have weaknesses in our knowledge. All of us have gaps. That's why we need each other. That's why we are the body of Christ. A hand can't say to the foot, I don't need you. You know things I don't. I know things you don't, and so on. So our knowledge level is different. So I'm not up here pontificating saying, that I know everything and everybody else doesn't. But what street epistemology tends to do, and what it's capitalized on, are finding the weaknesses in Christians and exploiting them and putting them out on YouTube and whatnot. And this is very popular in the skeptic community, as you can imagine, getting a Christian radio to go, I don't know, and so that's, we need it's a matter of discipleship and really understanding the basics of our faith, which I think, we've been slipping in that as the church. So there's a lot of,
man, they don't even realize, like both of them, how many times they're playing their hand, they're playing their cards. Danny boy, what the motherfuck is wrong with a Christian saying, I don't know? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with them being honest and saying, I don't fucking know? Maybe you should try it. And I'm getting ready to go, but he's getting ready. He's going to say it for me, and then I'll jump back in with the spitamaji.
Rudimentary Christians out there, I'm not saying they're not Christians, who just don't have that basic grasp. And so, nobody's ready going for a walk on a Saturday or walking.
Oh, did you hear that, Christians? Did you hear that? You don't Christian the way Danny Boy Christians. You are rudimentary. You're shit. You are small, putrid. You don't know shit. You don't know Bible. You don't know Jesus. You don't know nothing about nothing. But what I have found is two things. One, atheists usually have really good fitting headphones on. Like these are, I paid a lot of money for these. These are Beats by Dre. Look good, sound good, and not all, but most of the atheists that I talk to or deal with, whatever, that they get technology, they get cosmetics, they get marketing, they get all this shit. Christians, on the other hand, you get one of two things. You either get SJ, where she's not listening to a goddamn motherfucking thing that's going on. She don't have headphones in. She's just sitting there doing exactly what I said earlier. Bah. Bah. And as soon as Danny Boy's lips stop moving, which is not very often, and that's a good thing for her as the host, then she just talks about like fucking drowning in the ocean and shit. But then you have Danny Boy that has the Dr. Doodum, the miniature Dr. Doodum headphones on, where the top of his headphones actually almost reach heaven. And if there was a Yahweh, he could almost grab it like this with his fingertips. He could almost grab it and lift that shit off of his head if he were real. Thank gang.
Through campus, nobody's ready to have a sit-down, deep philosophical discussion with a skeptic. I mean, you think about it, that's really what's happening on a sub-level there. And so, for me, when I go into those discussions, I prepare. And so, we have to be prepared to give a defense. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of street epistemologists are taking advantage of our unpreparedness, if you will.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you even talking? What the fuck? What the actual fuck are you even talking about? First of all, again, you've not given one time a definition of what is a street epistemologist. First we need that. First we need fucking that, Danny Boy. That we're taking advantage of your unpreparedness. Let's dig in. As Christians, do you ever give two fucks about a non-believer's preparedness when you want to witness and tell them about burning in hell? Do you ever keep in consideration what that could do? The impact, the trauma, the fucked up shit that can do to a person's brain? Do you ever think about that, Danny Boy? No, you fucking don't. And I know for fuck sure SJ doesn't. So, using your light, Danny Boy, you have now just wandered into the land of hypocrisy and inconsistency. Congratulations, asshole. We'll drink to that. Because what do apologists do? They love to be hypocrites. Not that one. Secondly, and now we are going to go from just wandering into the land of hypocrisy and bullshit. We are now going to dive into the ocean of hypocrisy and bullshit. Danny boy, because you have a little book that you swear by. SJ, you have a little book that you swear by. It's called the Bible. In the Bible is the Jesus. And it seems that you don't know nothing about nothing. In that book, Danny boy, it tells you to be ready in any moment, to be prepared in any, there's no caveats. It doesn't say be ready at any moment, but go see, subletters A through C, because those are caveats. You don't have to be prepared in those situations. It's not there. Your book tells you have to be prepared in time, in season, out of season, blah, 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 blah. Fuck that. Sorry for you, bro. Sorry for you. Your book tells you to be ready. Your book tells you to be prepared. So guess what? Please forgive me or don't. I don't give a fuck. Cry me a fucking river. You hold a belief that is infalsifiable. You have no good evidence for. But you want to act like you're offended? That we're asking questions? What? There's somewhere in there that I don't remember the scripture reference, but I mean, if you're a true Christian, and like, yeah, you're like David in the book of Psalm, that you have a heart after God. You're chasing after God, and you're pure in your motives and your actions, and blah, blah, make me throw up, blah. The Holy Spirit will give you unction. The Holy Spirit will give you the words to speak. What the fuck are you worried about? What the fuck are you worried about? If you're doing what the fuck God tells you to do, and you're living this beautiful Christian fuck life, and you're not sinning, not doing shit, the Holy Spirit will speak through you. You don't even have to worry about it. Come on, apologist. On that bullshit. So we went from going to the land of to now. We damn near got SJ and Danny Boy swimming with the fishes here as far as street epistemology is concerned. Let's proceed.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, and I like your little reference to 1 Peter 3:15. That's definitely important for us to do. But yeah, this whole thing with let me ask you this: what do you think about the intent? Like, why is Peter Boghossian putting out books, and one of the books is How to Create Atheists? Why do atheists want to create other atheists when atheism itself offers people no eternal hope, no meaning, no purpose? In its logical conclusion comes up to nihilism. And so, why would these people want to try to get converts? What is the reason? What do you think? I have my thoughts.
Sure. Boghossian, before his first book came out, he did a lecture called Jesus, the Easter Bunny, and Other Unbelievable Things, or something like that, at Portland State University in 2012. And in that, I mean, it's been seen several thousand times, he defines faith as a mental disorder. And then he goes on a little bit and says that he'd like to see the Diagnostic Statistical Manual remove religious exemptions from mental disorders. Very clear about it, not being cheeky.
Wow.
I don't know in 8 years if he matured in that thinking, but that was Peter Boghossian 8 years ago. So Charity, maybe he's scaled back on that. I don't know. And another thing too, if you encounter,
just really, 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 fuck you, SJ. Fuck you. How dare you say wow to anything to do with mental health? Go fuck a fucking AIDS infected donkey dick, you fucking dishonest piece of shit. How dare you wow? Fuck off.
Or a street epistemologist today, say somebody's in his mid-20s or 30s, maybe they've never even read Peter Boghossian's book. Maybe they, and some of them I've talked to, SJ, don't even know Peter had ever said that. You know, so it's not like street epistemologists are walking around with a manual for creating atheists in their back pocket. However, that book is still a reference on streetepistemology.com. If you want to know more about street epistemology, here's a link to this book on Amazon. So it's still there. And I don't know, it's atheist to atheist who's practicing this, how deeply they agree with him. But I think they all agree that faith is not an is not a reliable way to know something. Of course, that's a twist of the definition of faith too. They're just going on other people's definitions of faith. But
No, fucking no. Because all the times that I've done street epistemology, whether it's been recorded, you know, on the streets or on our channel, or I've done it and it's never been recorded, and I did it. I meet people at a bar or whatever. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. I ask the interlocutor what their definition of faith is, and I work based upon their definition. I do not twist anything, move anything, nothing. You're full of shit, dude. You're full of fucking shit. And like I said, the further we go on this video, the more you play your cards, the more you play your hands. And it's not the street epistemologist, however you fucking define that, that's being dishonest and cowardly. It's you guys. You're afraid of this. You are terrified of this because it gets to the core of your belief, and that's why you keep coming back to faith, because it fucks faith up. Street epistemology fucks faith up, and you don't like it. And the fact that you don't like it makes me love it even more.
I think it was Anthony Magnabosco just last month at the Black Non-Believers Conference, their 10th anniversary. They had Anthony come and speak, and I watched his video. And he had said that when he encounters this, because he got a question, or it comes up a lot when he talks to theists, well, what do I do if I give up my faith, if I'm ready to sort of go where you seem to be leading me? What do I do? He hands him a card, and I will grant it to Anthony that he's willing to have follow-up with people he talks to. I don't know of a lot of street epistemologists that do that, but Anthony does it. But what do you think he offers them when they express that? Is the atheist community. I mean, that's the community that he offers to people that are sitting on the fence or thinking about leaving religion. You know, on the one hand, I'm glad that there are people that there's a support group for people.
Motherfucker, that's all you guys offer? That's all you guys offer? I mean, you attempt to offer this pretend galactical, never there, daddy. But that's the thing, is it's never there. But that's all you offer? Oh my God, fuck me.
People that are coming out of the church. Our ministry runs a Mormons in Transition. We haven't met because of COVID, but we have Mormons come in for lunch once a month, and maybe they're Christians, maybe they're ready to give up religion altogether because they just came out of the Mormon church. One thing they have all in common is they just came out of the Mormon church, but the other thing they have in common is most of them don't know what next, you know? So it's atheism. It's the assumption that faith is bad. And as I was talking about this, and we were doing research with my boss, James Walker,
Hold on, I'm going to put myself to the side. Converse, come on, bro. An atheist what are we presupposing? That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And Converse is a smart dude. Like I've talked to Converse on our Discord and others, and I've heard him other places. That's the dumbest shit. That's the dumbest shit I've ever read. Street epistemology seems like atheist play shop. How is asking questions presupposing anything? I don't get the level of ignorance sometimes. Pardon me.
James said something that I think is spot on as an analogy for the way a lot of people practice street epistemology. And I have to be careful with this because I've learned that everybody practices this a little different, and one guy's malicious intent may not be the other guy's intent. So you kind of have to watch it and not say that every street epistemologist is doing X, Y, and Z, because every one of them don't. I met one who just kind of uses it for political things. He doesn't really go into the religious part of it. And he's he likes he likes the idea that the civility is the thing. And so he's not really into like putting people's religion down or whatever. But so one of the things that's as
I will say, Danny Boy, this motherfucker is like this motherfucker's like a machine gun with limitless ammo. It doesn't mean it's good ammo. He could be shooting blanks, but it's ammo. Nonetheless, it's like, and literally, and SJ loves it because all SJ's doing bah, bah,
you say, what are they offering people? Is atheism, and it's as we know, there's the foundationally, there's no what do you ground logic in? What do you ground reason in? What's the point of a community of people?
When we're dealing with people and people's happiness and their mental health and all that, why does that fucking matter to you? Why are you so self-absorbed? Why are you so worried about the way you see the world? That trumps how what could and maybe should or could possibly make someone else happy. How fucking arrogant and selfish and self-absorbed and fucked up are you? And this is why in like the last 6 months, my whole position is I still love street epistemology. I will still defend street epistemology. No, I got myself saying epistemology. But when it comes to you fucking YouTubers, fucking YouTube Christians, I'm done patty cake and fucking being nice and all that. Fuck you, man. Who gives a fuck how it's grounded? Who gives a fuck where it comes from? At the end of the goddamn day, who gives a fuck? Fuck off with that shit. If somebody finds a community and they feel loved and accepted and they're happy, their health increases, their mental health increases, their happiness and their fulfillment in life increases, why the fuck would you ever not want that? And to be consistent, I've said the same thing on the other side of the table. If somebody that, well, actually, I have a good friend of mine that I grew up with, went to high school with, played baseball with, that was an addict for a very long time. And within the last, since I've been atheist, gave his life to God, to Yahweh. And I don't fucking touch it, man. I don't fucking touch it. I don't bring it up. If anything, I celebrate his sobriety. I don't talk about the God shit. I don't talk about the church shit. I don't talk about the Bible shit with him. I don't even get fucking close to it, but I celebrate where he's at, that he's clean, he's sober, he's happy, he seems and appears to have a direction now in his life. And if that's what it takes for him, as much as I don't like it and I wouldn't do it, I see the difference in his life. I'm not fucking with that. I still don't think it's real. I think it's placebo. But if that's the placebo he needs in his life to be healthy and happy, fuck it. I'm not touching that shit, man. I love him way more than I hate his religion. Period.
Engaged with, we have a lady, I think it's a lady, we have one of our atheist members of the Atheist and Christian Book Club who said to James recently, he said, he said, he or she said, you know, I have more in common with the Christians except for God's existence. And I don't have anything in common with the atheists except that God doesn't exist. That was her comment. And so it's like, I'm in between two worlds, but she loves the book club. I say she, I don't know who it is or not. But James, getting back to my analogy, James said this to me, and I think this is kind of how a lot of street epistemologists approach this. Let's assume you go out with your camera and your clipboard and you want to talk to married couples, right? And your presupposition, and there is, I would say for a lot of people, this idea that faith is bad is a presupposition. There's no, in the literature, SJ, there's nothing that justifies this assumption, except
that's actually a really good point.
Explaining of it. Yeah, there's no defense or justification, just the assumption that this idea that faith is bad is the a priori foundation for why we're out there doing that. That faith is bad, faith is bad, faith is bad. We're going to go out and talk to people who have faith, and we're going to blast them with it. James said, imagine this. Imagine somebody who goes to married retreats and stands outside in the parking lot and says, hey, I'm Jim. I want to have a conversation about marital relationships. I'm doing a survey. Okay, I had 5 minutes. Check. Took the clock on. What's the confidence that you have that both of you are faithful to one another? And so the presupposition is that all married couples are in adulterous relationships. They just don't know. And so they go out and they assume this presupposition, and they go to every married couple they talk to. They say, they put that little seed of doubt that your spouse is being unfaithful. What would reduce your confidence in
Huh? I can tell you did not bounce that analogy off anyone. That's some of the most dumb shit I've ever heard in my life. Huh? Huh? These are not even apologetics. This is misery for Christians. I'm going to make sure as many Christians as I can possible see this shit. This is pathetic. Huh? What the fuck just happened? This motherfucker. Somebody please correct me if because he said it 2 or 3 times. I don't think I'm wrong, but again, I'm a skeptic, and I'm even skeptical of my own hearing and understanding. Did this motherfucker just say 2 or 3 times that on behalf of the atheist or the skeptic? Oh, this is hard for me to even say. That faith is presuppositional for the atheist. Oh, please tell me I didn't hear that. Please tell me I didn't hear that. Oh, no. Is that what I heard? Oh, this is so bad. I'm embarrassed for them right now, and I don't get embarrassed. This is embarrassing. Oh my God. Oh, this is awful. This is awful. I need a drink. So but nobody else in the chat heard. Come on, help me, chat. I don't want to have to replay it again. I think that's what happened. And so nobody in the chat is speaking up. I'm gonna have to rewind it because it'll fucking drive me nuts. Oh my fucking god. These people are fucking nuts.
That this idea that faith is bad is the a priori foundation for why we're out there doing that. That faith is bad, faith is bad, faith is bad. We're going to go out and talk to people who have faith, and we're going to blast them with it. James said, imagine this. Imagine somebody who goes to married retreats and stands outside in the parking lot and says, hey, I'm Jim. I want to have a conversation about marital relationships. I'm doing a search. Is atheism, you know, and it's a, as we know, there's the foundationally, there's no, you know, what do you ground logic in? What do you ground reason in? What's the point of a community of people surrounded, you know, engaged with? We have a lady, I think it's a lady. We have one of our atheist members of the Atheist and Christian Book Club who said to James recently, he or she said, you know, I have more in common with the Christians except for God's existence, and I don't have anything in common with the atheist except that God doesn't exist. That was her comment. And so it's like, I'm in between two worlds, but she loves the book club. I say she, I don't know who it is or not. But James, getting back to my analogy, James said this to me, and I think this is kind of how a lot of street epistemologists approach this. Let's assume you go out with your camera and your clipboard and you want to talk to married couples, right? And your presupposition, and there is, I would say for a lot of people, this idea that faith is bad is a presupposition. There's no, in the literature, SJ, there's nothing that justifies this assumption, except
that's actually a really good point.
Explaining of it. Yeah, there's no defense or justification, just the assumption that this idea that faith is bad is the a priori foundation for why we're out there doing that. That faith is bad, faith is bad, faith is bad. We're going to go out and talk to people who have faith, and we're going to blast them with it. James said, imagine this. Imagine somebody who goes to married retreats and stands outside in the parking lot and says, hey, I'm Jim. I want to have a conversation about marital relationships. I'm doing a survey. Okay, I had 5 minutes, chap. Took the clock on. What's the confidence that you have that both of you are faithful to one another? And so the presupposition is that all married couples are in adulterous relationships. They just don't know. And so they go out and they assume this presupposition, and they go to every married couple they talk to. They say, they put that little seed of doubt that your spouse is being unfaithful. What would reduce your confidence in the level of love that it has for you?
Oh, nice try, you silly rabbit. Nice try. And you did say exactly what the fuck I thought you said. It is not a presupposition, dumbass. We could test faith and whether it's reliable or not. Oh, you apologists always trying to create something out of nothing. Silly guy. How dare you try to create something out of nothing? Silly fella. I don't know where you ever got that big banging idea. But then you're such a dumbass. You're such a dumbass. Then we're going to compare it to some dude. Some dude goes to a marriage conference and wants to line up and take tests with married couples, and are they cheating? Are they being unfaithful? And blah blah. What the fuck does that have to do with faith? Because I get what you're trying to say as far as like having faith in your partner that they're not cheating, but guess what? There's ways to test. There's science, there's biology, there's medicine. We can probably figure that shit out, Danny boy. Your analogies and your comparisons again fail. And this entire conversation so far has been nothing but a laughingstock. For you, SJ, and you, Danny boy, you have no clue what you're talking about in regards to street epistemology, especially SJ. She's just doing the bah. But we'll go about another 4 minutes and we'll wrap it up. Wrap it up like a burrito. Not a burrito. I said that. Smart ass meant burrito.
And, pretty soon at the end after 5 minutes, you're like, I need to go get a private investigator. It's that kind of thing, SJ, for a lot of people, especially Christians that are caught off guard by this.
Ooh. See, I missed that last time I listened to this. Yes, you can even go get a private investigator, Danny boy. Guess what you can't get for God? A private fucking investigator. Guess what you can't get for faith? A private fucking investigator. The only thing you can do is test the methodology, and is it dependable, and is it reliable, which we can do that. Holla.
The presupposition that just assaults you is the idea that faith is bad.
That's actually a really good point.
I mean, you can't make a community out of that, though.
I had somebody tell me I want to say.
Oh, see, now you're conflating. You know what? I tried to like you at first, Danny boy. You're a dishonest piece of shit. No wonder you're on screen with you know who. You can't create community off all this. Can't create community off this straight petromology. Can't do it. Fuck you. It's not a community of straight petromology. Shut the fuck up, dude. Can't create a community off of it. Oh, we can't create a community off something, but y'all can create a community off some fake fuck that you can't prove that's a galactical fucking something nowhere god that nobody has good evidence for or any evidence for. Really? Interesting. Pound bricks, bitch.
Your point, I just repeat this idea, but the for example, you always have to look for the hidden assumptions, and I think that's just like what you're pointing out right there. Is that saying faith is bad? Because the other one is I've had people tell me that now I've got this protected Twitter account that I've got my own little echo chamber. I'm like, well, the assumption is an echo chamber is bad. I mean, what if to me I like this little I like the feedback that I get on my Twitter account now. I like the way that people are very nice towards me. My idea is the assumption is my other Twitter account, which was a complete festival of hatred in some cases towards me. I closed it, and I'm really happy about that. And so, but anyway, I want to ask.
Well, SJ, there two things, really quick. I know why you enjoy the echo chamber, because you love to hear how great SJ is. So you love that. You love that. You love the attention and the compliments and all that. But just remember, echo chambers can, and a lot of times, come back to bite you. Just ask my former friend. It'll lead you to some places you don't want to go because you get lost. You get lost in the goddamn sauce.
First contenders question, because he had to go and he said he's gonna come back and listen to this question. I think this is the one because I couldn't find anything else in there, but he says street epistemology seems like atheist precept. Could be wrong. Can you think of a naturalist explanation? Are you certain of that? So is there a naturalist explanation for, I think that's just as a question that's actually what they always do ask. Like the assumption is that the naturalist is preferable to the supernatural explanation.
Yeah. Right. And as philosopher Tim McGrew says, we're having Tim on the book club in March, along with atheist philosopher Graham Oppie. I was just reading Tim this morning, and yesterday I just interviewed Paul Gould, who is the co-editor of our book. Paul did a whole podcast on philosophy. But as Tim McGrew says, possibilities are cheap, SJ. In other words, the cash flow, it's easy to spend like monopoly money. The consequence of raising a possibility is easy, right? But we're not necessarily trading in what is possible. It's like saying some of these analogies that I've heard are it's like, well, if a purple dragon in a DeLorean time machine came from Jupiter and brought you textual evidence that Jesus was a cat, would that lower your confidence? It's like that took 30 seconds for somebody to come up with. And then they want to compare the purple dragon to God. And it's cheap. Analogously, there's nothing.
Okay, officially, I'm officially done. At that point, that like, I've never heard anybody that engages, like seriously engages, in street epistemology, Socratic method, ever draw those kind of comparisons are fucking batshit, fucking goddamn childish. Get the fuck out of here. That was we reviewed not a lot, but we've reviewed some other comments or streams on street epistemology, and they were, some stuff I felt they were off on, but most of the times I can understand why you would say that, why you feel that way, or been pretty pretty down the middle on it. It's been as cool could be, really. But this one, well, I'll just say in this. Look, it's the Atheist Network Group. It's TANG Gang, and I guess for the first time ever, SJ and Daniel Ray, welcome to TANG Gang, and welcome to now my line of sight. I think you two maybe have become two of my favorite here on YouTube to absolutely fucking crush, because you're idiots. You're fucking idiots. And you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And I have zero issues calling out idiots. Especially though that they can harm people and hurt people. I'll call you out all day, every day. So, as a review, before I wrap up, street epistemology is not designed or meant to be something to go into every single conversation and just to spur doubt and bring up doubt in someone's belief and whatever it is. And it's meant to attack deeply held beliefs, whether that be religious, political, social, fucking UFOs, fucking ghosts, fucking whatever it is. It's not just religion, and that's what I love, that they brought up one little time that somebody does about politics, but this is something that can be used and should be fucking used across the goddamn board. But it just shows how sensitive and ill-prepared and resistant of the hard-hitting questions that Christians and Christian apologists, especially here online, are, because they don't, either they can't or they don't want to have to answer the questions, because they know that, well, let's just make sure we end this right. Give me 1 second. And I had to sneeze. But for Danny Boy and SJ, just know here, as far as TANG Gang is concerned, faith is bullshit. It was yesterday, it is today, and as the old good book says about Yahweh, it is forever bullshit. So with that, I'll sign off. Thanks, everybody, hanging out with me tonight, talking a little shit. But also talking about serious shit with epistemology, because the Christians would love to, with their entitlement and their, oh, I'm being persecuted, how dare you ask me street epistemology questions. Oz, you little tattooed fucker, how dare you ask me street epistemology questions. I love my JJS. Fuck you. You can tell I've been working at a comedy club for like 5 days straight. But I love y'all, appreciate y'all, and so the 15th, yeah. So in 2 days, for the next edition of What's Your Story, Heathen Queen will be joining us. That'll be badass. Yep, Paul, I'm not up early. I just haven't slept yet. Actually, in the last 4 days, I think I've slept about 4 hours. I just achieved. No, sorry. I just unlocked boss mode. Bless your heart. Somewhere in that little bless your heart is a little fuck you, Seth Andrews says. But no, I appreciate you all, like I said. And I think oh, bro, melatonin don't do shit to me. Melatonin's like drinking water. My insomnia is like one of the worst cases you've ever seen. Yeah, hold on a minute. I want to see, because I think I just want to make sure before I say this shit. Uno momento. Sto tipo. All right, so tomorrow, yeah, she didn't post it. So tomorrow night, either Jena will be doing her part 2 of her first. It'll be part 2 of her oh, Jesus fucking Christ, speak. Part 2 following her first solo stream, or we're going to be doing one that she found about this particular pastor, telling us about the Bible. Telling us about the Bible. And she was like, babe, I know the Bible's your jam. The Bible's your jam. You're still a part-time Christian, and you should probably come in and talk about the Bible. So it'll be one of the two tomorrow night. Tonight, it's fucking almost, or it is 6 a.m. here. So love y'all. Appreciate y'all as always. And I'm out. Holla.
Yeah. This is for all you non-philosophizing black sheep, unwelcome, pushed to the side motherfuckers like me.
Fuck what they say. TANG gang. Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. TANG gang. Atheist Your Way. Let's get down to business. These bitches got glitches. And you thought you'd dismiss us? Nah. Now I'm laughing in stitches. See, the problem be, it'll be a tragic travesty to come after me. So just know this is how we get down. Respect that shit like a pronoun, bitch. Yeah. Fuck what they say. TANG gang. Atheist Your Way. Yeah. And fuck what they say. TANG gang. Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. TANG gang. Atheist Your Way. Yeah. Fuck what they say. TANG gang. Atheist Your Way.